Okay guys, I want to give you a demo of the iRule setup I've got for my house here. Some of the hardware that makes this happen is an ISY controller with Insteon products that run the lighting and the doors, some FOSCAM cameras, a Nest thermostat, a whole bunch of AV hardware, along with a Windows 7 machine running FlexRAID and MySQL, and then 2 additional OpenELEC clients for XBMC. So basically here on the right you can see these icons. Everything in this is pretty much handmade as far as the icons and the interface goes. I'm a bit of a Star Wars geek, so I Star Wars'd it out. Alright, so here on the right we're going to go ahead and choose lighting. So we click lights here and this brings up the lighting in the house. You can see the theater lights, the bedroom light, the garage door, and the kitchen. So far this is all the lighting I've got done. But these are the ones that really matter to me. So you can see the status of the lights. You can see the one upstairs about 75% in the bedroom. The theater lights here, you can go ahead and turn these up and down. They'll come up and change, and then you can turn on and off the backlight, of course. Just different lighting controls all built into iRule here. So also up in the kitchen we've got an RGB controller for the under cabinet lighting. So we have all the different spectrums that we can change the lighting to, along with some music response stuff. Up here on the right you can see the garage door status, which is currently open. Then we've got these buttons here to the right that will also turn, or rather close and open the garage door. And then we also have this all off button here, which will actually shut everything in the house off and close the door. So let's go back home. Alright, so also we have this camera view right here. One of these cameras is an exterior camera at work, and the other two are exterior. One's exterior camera here, and then one actually in my upstairs living room. Now these cameras all have pan and tilt built into them. You can go ahead and view the live view right there. You can see one of my fish tanks upstairs. This is obviously just for live view. The recording is all done on a back end on the Windows server, but you get the live view right here. Let's go ahead and jump back home. Alright, so you can see that little garage icon also has a little status under there. You see the garage still open. So it gives you just a real quick glance view at the garage. And then this button right here will actually launch the Nest application, so you can actually control the Nest thermostat for the house, turn it up and down, or monitor it, etc. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the AV stuff, the bread and butter. You can see on the left we've got theater, living room, and bedroom. I'm currently in the theater. It basically has all the features of all the other rooms, plus some. So we're going to demo it in there. I've already got the projector turned on and running just because that takes a little while to warm up, and didn't want to put you guys through that. I do have a 7.1 system fed by an Onkyo receiver, Yamaha speakers all the way around except for my subwoofer, which is a PL200. Nothing super high-end, but it sounds good, and I spent the money where I could. So my projector is actually an aging HC 1500 Mitsubishi 720p projector. It's screaming for an upgrade, but I just haven't done it yet because the bulb hasn't died, and it still looks good at 10 feet, so that's what I'm running still. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into the room here. And when we click theater, it knows we're in the theater room, so it's going to go ahead and raise the lights for us because we haven't started an activity yet. So it figures we're getting seated, we're getting situated in here, trying to figure out what we're gonna do as far as features go. From there, we can go ahead and jump right into a thing. So XBMC is basically the heart of my system. It runs everything for AV in the house except for whole home audio. The XBMC build here is just a Frodo 12.3. This is run on an OpenELEC box talking back to the Windows server through MySQL. And it's a pretty standard XBMC setup. Of course, you've got movies, TV shows, music, live TV. I use Server Media Center add-on here for live TV, so it goes back to the Media Center again, or the Windows 7 machine for live TV. I don't get a ton of over-the-air. It's running HD Home Run with just a single antenna, but what I do get works. So we can go ahead and just start up the pledge here on Fox or whatever's running right now, and that'll give us some now playing. Now you can see this populated up here with the now playing. This is a little something I just whipped up for a web interface. So this is actually a URL it's reading. It shows us what's playing currently on this build. And you can see that populated right away there. So let's go ahead and stop live TV, and that'll go away for us. And we go back to the main setup here, or the main window. Of course, you got weather, channels. I do run a Play On server on the Windows machine, simply so I can get ESPN, a borrow buddy's login, ESPN, Netflix, HBO Go, a couple others. I do a lot of these things through Roku, but if you want to do them inside XBMC, you can. So that's what the play on channels are there. Now if we jump over to movies here, it's just typical movie setup. You know, you've got all your recently added. This is a MQ5 skin through XBMC. Everything sounds and looks pretty good, so let's just give you a real quick demo of a movie here. And go on the recently added. You can see I've got a little black and white motif going on for the actual background for this. Let's go ahead and pick out something that's not a kid's movie. And here we go, Ender's Game. We'll watch this real quick. So as this starts up, you're going to see that now playing artwork change for us. Let's jump ahead a little bit. We actually get some audio.
The National Fleet decided that the world's smartest children are the planet's best hope. Raised on war games, their decisions
So there's a movie playing.
Decisive, fearless.
These other buttons give us, you know, like the HDMI brings on the on-screen display, subtitle turns on and off subtitles, just the stuff that makes it easier to use XBMC when you have to. Alright, so let's go back home. Oh, let's go back actually. And we will jump to Roku. So basically, Roku here, it's gonna make sure everything's on for us, turn it to the right input. I use a 4x4 HDMI matrix to push some of these components throughout the house so that I can use the Roku upstairs, the PS3 upstairs, etc. So it takes a little while to do the handshake. But here's Roku. You don't need a lot of controls for the Roku. We all know what a Roku looks like. Here's the PS3. Now the PS3 can't be turned on and off through IR. Well, it can, but it's a lot of work. So basically I've got a prompt here that prompts the user to turn on the PS3 if they want to use it. Turn on the controller rather, and we can then navigate inside the PS3 with this. You can basically do anything you want except for play a game. So if you're playing a Blu-ray on the PS3, you can use it to navigate. If you're just watching content or whatever else, you can use it to navigate. The XBMC, or the Xbox rather, can be turned on through infrared, so there's no prompt there for the user to hit the control. So this will switch the XBMC for us, bring that up, or Xbox rather, for us. Xbox doesn't get a lot of use out of me anymore. Holding off buying the new system, so there's some good games for them. But here's the controls for it. Basically everything, again, you have for the PS3, you have for the Xbox. Chromecast. So Chromecast is great for things that don't work on Roku, which there's a couple. The Chromecast, again, is spread throughout the house using the HDMI matrix. What's nice about iRule is that you can launch applications from inside iRule, so I can actually jump right to HBO Go here, the application, and then I can cast it to my screen through the Chromecast. So that's great. It works really well. Chromecast is a great, best $35 I've ever spent. Of course, you have other things like Netflix, Vivo, YouTube, some others that just make it a little easier because you can browse the content right on the device and then send it to the Chromecast. So that's really cool. So let's go ahead and jump right back to iRule. Double click and we'll jump right back here. You see HBO Go is highlighted because that's what's running. I do also run a Plex server for some remote content, so I also have a Plex application here I could send it to the Chromecast with also. That's that. So let's go ahead and we'll jump to Sonos. So Sonos is whole home audio. That's what I use for whole home audio. I don't have a zone dedicated for the theater. It actually pairs with the bedroom zone upstairs. So it kind of explains it to the user right here, and then you can actually click right here to launch the Sonos application. So once the Sonos application comes up, we'll go ahead and we'll play some quick music through the bedroom zone, which is also the theater. And we can, let's see what we listened to last, Arctic Monkeys. Let's go ahead and we will just play that. And we can turn it up, and you can hear it playing through the theater. So that's what I use for whole home audio. Again, I've got a couple zones of whole home audio. I do have the soundbar upstairs from Sonos in the living room. Not completely sold on it. Not worth the money. Don't buy it. Doesn't support DTS. Just hook a connect to whatever system you're going to use. Works better. Alright, so let's go ahead and pause that. We'll jump back to iRule. Oh, maybe. Jump back to iRule here, and we'll go back to XBMC. So some of the other features we have here, of course, are this lovely little drawer down here that has lighting control for us. It has camera views built right in the drawer. So if you want some manual control of the lights here in the building or in the room, you can turn them up and down right through this little guy here, on and off the screen, etc. So that's a little manual lighting control. We have a pre-movie and post, or active movie rather, Scene we can turn on. So pre-movie is basically what we get when we first come in the room, and then active movie is what we get when a movie is actually running. And then again, the 3 little live views of the cameras right there, all built in. So that's pretty much my build. It's pretty sweet. I like it. iRule works really well. It controls a lot of things for the cost. It does take a lot of work to get it running the way you want to get it running, but once it's done, it's pretty awesome. So if you got any questions, let me know. Thanks.